What is going on, everybody? Zach Brown here, and I have the pleasure of introducing somebody that many of you may already know, the man, the myth, Mr. Joel Elster, also a fellow recruiter in the high-ticket space. So him and I share a lot, have a lot in common in that regards, and stay in touch along the way with what's going on. And excited to bring some heat to you today, as there's some things that are happening, both good and bad. Space is always going through changes, and we're excited to bring that stuff to you today. So Joel, how you doing, bro?
Let's go, bro. First of all, that intro is insane.
You can thank AI for that, dude. I can't do that.
Behind the scenes.
I know. You're like, oh, 10 seconds? Is that it? Is that the end?
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I'm good, brother. I'm good. It's always good to be on here. It's always good to chat. And there's a lot to share as well. So looking forward to it.
100%. Well, last week we talked about the struggle of finding quality closers at scale, at volume. Seems like there's just kind of a lack. Not that there's a lack of people, but it's a lack of what we're being presented with through applications, videos, resumes, just the whole like digital footprint. And you said you had a story to share about something that just happened along those lines. So stories always do well. So have at it.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Because a lot of people think I'm going to do everything possible to invest my money into getting the right sales coach, get the right skills. Okay, but then the next step is landing a job, landing an interview.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a massive disconnect between having the skills and landing that interview.
Yeah.
And that step is reaching out to the business owners or reaching out to recruiters and sending a bloody easy intro video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy how you've got all these so-called savage closers that don't know how to land jobs, that don't know how to present themselves right. And it's insane. So like, guys, what you need to understand, if you're out there, you're doing your intro videos, you're trying to land roles, the most important thing is you need to present yourself so well that the business owner looks at you, looks at the intro video and thinks, I need that person to represent me and my brand.
Mm-hmm.
That person is going to be the first point of contact that my clients are going to speak to face-to-face over Zoom that's going to represent my brand. So what's the first thing they're going to look at? They're going to look at the quality, your sound quality, the video quality, your background. Are you turning up looking good? Or are you turning up and you just, I don't know, you've just got out the shower and the hair's a mess, or you've just come back from the gym and you're sweaty. Like, you got to put in a bit of an effort. And the crazy thing for me, Zach, as well, is there's so many people, so many of these closers that I speak to, they're like, yeah, I've invested 13 grand, 25 grand into my sales career and my personal development.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bro, you spent all that money and you didn't put a few $100s aside to invest into a microphone and a camera or a good background. Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And even today, this morning, I've been speaking to this closer back and forth, and he sounds incredible. He's sold $22 million. He's got a good reputation. And I asked him for an intro video, and he just sent me an intro. I'm just looking at it here. He sent me an intro video. He's in the car. He's driving around in the car. He's like, bro, I just wanted to get this sent over as fast as possible. So I thought I'd record it. Here's my intro video. No one's going to take you serious, man. So if you are listening to this, dude, and I haven't replied yet, I'm talking to you, right? The guy that just sent me an intro video in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So that's rule number one, guys, is pull your finger out and just make yourself look more presentable. Because imagine if you're doing door-to-door sales and you turn up in your gym gear with your hair a mess. Do you think someone's going to open the door for you? Probably not. Right? It's exactly the same. Right. How can you present yourself for someone to initially open that first door?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's the saying's been used and abused, but it still is just as true as the first time it was ever said. First impressions really do make a difference, because that's what people are gonna. That's what's gonna solidify what they think, and those first couple seconds is what's gonna solidify the way that they perceive you, whether it's true or not, for the rest of the time that they know you and you know them. And it's really hard to undo that when they've already kind of made that decision.
Especially in this industry.
Yeah.
Like, first impressions are everything. It's insane. I mean, just to give an example, we have a huge amount of applications coming through on a daily basis. And our job is literally to scroll through hundreds of applications.
Mm-hmm.
We see your profiles, we see the information. Yeah, we trust you 50%, I guess, with the information you leave. But then your intro video really speaks. Mm-hmm. And if the first 10 seconds of that intro video doesn't get us, we're just going to instantly reject it and move on and just go to the next candidate.
Yep. I do the same thing.
Hey. It's nuts.
Well, and it's like, I've heard it said that applying for jobs is one of the hardest ways to get a job. And in the sense, like, we make ourselves readily available because we want applicants, because we need to have, as recruiters, we need to have as many people to choose from as possible in order to meet the specific needs of our client. If we've only got a very narrow pool to choose from, or a shallow pool to choose from, we're not going to be able to do our jobs either. So it works in tangent. So you can make it easier on us. Like, we have every we want to help you get a job, like, because that's how we get paid. Like, we're incentivized to help you, and we have every intention of doing so,
and our
best of our ability. And exactly, and our reputation's on the line. So it's like, you have to think a couple steps ahead. Like, whatever somebody sees is what they think they're going to get. And to me, videos are, I mean, since I got in the space, this has been what people want to see, and it continues to be what people want to see. It's like, if you could ask for one piece of information to decide whether or not you want to get on a call with somebody, nobody cares about anything but the video. That's the number one resource that they want to see. So it's like, spend the extra time to make it really pop. And honestly, you could just record it. This is what I've done in the past when I had to make them. I would just sit in front, I'd get all dressed up, sit in front of it, hit record, and I would go as far as I could until I screwed up. And then I would just stop it and hit record again. And you do that even 20 times. It takes an hour. And by the 20th time, like, you're infinitely better at sounding more natural during that monologue than you are, just trying to do it off the cuff by trying to get it right and perfect the very first time.
Yeah. I love, secretly, it's not secret anymore because we're now live, but I love just roasting intro videos. I love it. Like, so some of the ones, when you get these intro videos and then you hear something like, "Hi, my name's Joel, and I'm a very motivated individual that loves to work in team." It's like, fuck off. Stop reading from a script you made back in high school. Just be yourself. Be yourself, be natural, because at the end of the day, imagine if a client sees that intro video and thinks, "Oh my God, is that what the person's going to sound like when they're talking to my client?" It's not going to fly. Who is this person? How can they connect? How can they use their unique self to be able to just have conversations? There's so much 100%. More I can write.
I know. Well, that's the thing, is when you record a video, you're using a different headspace because you're talking to yourself, and it's not a dialogue, it's a monologue. And there's just a different headspace that you're going to be in when you're doing that, because there's nobody receiving what you're saying. And so people have to remember, like, even though you might not think the skill is important, it is extremely important. It's the supplemental skill. It's like, if you want to be a good closer, cool, you might be able to close deals, but what if you don't know how to operate a CRM? It's not technically closing, but it's another supplemental skill that, and if you want to be good at closing, you need to also have. And the skill of making good intro videos might only get you the interview, and that's it. It's all it's good for. But if that's all it does, good. That means you're on the right track, because you need to be able to get the interview. If you can't get the interview, you can't get the job. So
that's it. And we spoke about this previously. Why are we here? Why do we exist? It's because we're there to filter out good businesses and good closers.
Right.
And we've both had the same experience that I'm about to mention, is closers think they know a good closer, but they don't know how to vet the closer correctly. So we've seen this many of times where a closer has done an intro to a business for another closer. The business owner has no idea how to do the interviews or what they're looking for. That closer's jumped on the offer and they've been terrible. They've wasted the businesses, the closer's reputation, the business's money, and then they just lose their job straight away. So what we look for, it isn't just a great intro video. It's so much more.
Right.
And this is where a lot of people they don't understand. They don't understand how to vet the businesses and closers. So yes, it's great if you're a closer and you're trying to help your colleagues and you're trying to get them roles, but truly understand how to vet them the right way to make sure that you don't look bad and the business lose a load of money.
Right. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
It's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
I know. And it's like one thing that you sort of touched on this in the beginning, but it's unfortunate that like people spend a lot of money on the sales training and then, but not spend any money or these programs. Like I even would put some burden on some of these sales training programs. Like if you're going to send people off to all the recruiters, because I'm sure a bunch of the sales trainers out there, for example, or people who onboard others into the high ticket space have links like, oh, talk to these different recruiters and try to land a role. But like, and you get this very scripted and you're like, oh, I know where you came from. I don't even have to look at the application. I know exactly who sent you because the script is like just a plug and play. Yeah, copy paste. So it's like to call out to anybody who's teaching people how to navigate the space. Like you need to be able to help people bring out what's real, true, and authentic to them, and help bring up some individuality to it. Because I was telling somebody this the other day. He was like, well, what do I say in my video? And I was like, first of all, you're not trying to be a good fit for everybody. Because like we always say, a product for everyone is a product for no one. So you're not trying to impress everyone. You're just trying to impress the right people. And if you don't, if you're not acting like yourself, the right people are going to miss you because they're going to think you're something different, or they're going to tell that you're just being a caricature of yourself. So just be yourself and don't take it personally when someone doesn't like your video. If it's a good video, objectively good video, which as a recruiter, that should be something we could give somebody like, hey, this is a good video. Now, whether or not somebody is taken by the video and likes it is more or less irrelevant because it's subjective and the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if someone doesn't like it, it doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means like that person's not for you. And that's what the video is for. Like if they don't like it, you don't want to work with them anyway. Because if they're not like, just not feeling this guy, like they're saving you time, effort, and energy of, okay, this is not the opportunity for me. Let me go look at something else.
I like it. And what about those conversations we have offline with closers? We're like, hey, listen, what do you want to sell? Like, let me know. What do you want to sell? Oh man, I can sell anything. Just put me on an offer and I'll sell it. It's like it's the worst thing you can tell a recruiter.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we've got tons of jobs available on the job board. We've got loads that we haven't had time to put on the job board. I'm having a conversation with you out of my busy day because I want to help you. Be a bit more direct, because I just want to quickly go straight into my mind and be like, okay, you're looking for a crypto offer. Bam, I've got a crypto offer. I'll do the intro. Yeah. But if you say, yeah, I can sell anything, I'll be like, sorry, mate. I just don't know where to place you. So just be as specific as possible.
Yeah. Help us help you. And you have to recognize again that because we're easy to find, that means other people can find us easily as well, which means there's a lot of noise on coming from the closer side to the recruiter side. And again, help us help you. Like if you more direct, you know exactly what you're looking for. We can more easily make decisions quicker on, okay, yeah, this works good. And we also know that you're not just looking for money, because to me, that's a red flag. If I know, because I've had people tell me like, I need a job yesterday, like I'm hurting. And I'm like, I don't want to do it because it's going to take you between the time you get introduced, interview, onboard, train, start selling, start closing, get the deals across the line, have that money hit your bank account. You might be a month, 45 days in. I mean, it could happen quicker, could happen day one. You never know, but like, that's just not a risk I'm willing to take. So if you are struggling, don't tell people because someone who's going to offer you a job, because honestly, like it makes us a little weary that you're going to churn if you can't make money.
Commission breath, isn't it?
I hate to say it that way, but yeah, I mean, this space is not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
Yeah. What percentage of closers do you think shouldn't be in the industry?
That's a good question. So about 40% of the people that come into my pipeline get at least introduced to a company. Now that's not just because
that's a high number. That's a very high number.
Yeah, I mean, and I shouldn't say introduced. Like they get submitted. They get submitted for consideration. But that doesn't necessarily mean, and only roughly 11% get of the total number not the 40% get hired. So it's only like a quarter of people that get introduced get hired.
That's it. And let me just go back onto that number again. Out of everyone that applies, only 11% get hired. Right. So if there's 100 applications, there's only 11 people getting hired. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, well, some of that is bandwidth issues. Like there's not enough slots. Like I'm just one pipeline. So that is obviously a contributor. Like there's just not spots for everybody. But about 60%, I guess, is the number I would use to answer your question. Like maybe need to reconsider doing something else, because either you just need to put your foot down or put your nose down to the dirt and start doing the things that everybody else is doing, outclassing you on. Like you could be an amazing fit for a company, but again, it's like that first impression. If nobody knows it, you're dead in the water.
We have this closer. He said to me, Joel, he said, I don't want to jump on an offer full time. I want to go on part time to understand how the offer works. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and I'm going to buy my own leads and I'm going to close my own leads and make more money, right? So this closer joined the offer, spent a month and a half on part-time, understanding the offer, closing deals, and then went off, created his own leads from Facebook groups, different ads, LinkedIn, and now he makes 5 times as much in commissions as the other closers there full time.
Oh, so he's generating leads not for his own offer, for the offer he's on.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
So closers can make money if they're smart. And I think the biggest issue that's happening these days is closers want to have the entrepreneur mindset, but they have an employee's mindset.
Right.
And then start bitching about it.
Right.
So it's like, if you truly want to make money, what are you doing to get out of the employee mindset? We're like, hey, I'm just going to do my job and I'm just going to close the leads that land on my, in my hands, compared to, okay, this is incredible. I'm in a situation where I don't have to pay for leads at the moment. There's a database of leads that I can actually phone up that's cost my boss or my client hundreds of dollars sitting there. I can just put in a bit more effort, warm them up, call them up, book them in, close deals. Like, what a great situation to be in. I can make so much money here.
Yeah.
People just, and unfortunately, it does have to do with a lot of the sales coaches out there where they're like, yeah, all I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to close inbound leads.
Yeah.
You're so limited. You're so limited how much money you can make with inbound leads. We hired a guy, I think it's on his second week of this new offer that we put him on. The outbound setters were setting an average of 7 book calls a day. He's gone in and he's booked 16 calls in one day on his own calendar.
Wow.
And it's like, listen, and this is an interesting one. So what he does, he'll probably hate me for sharing this, but I'll share it. So what he does, he has 2 screens. He's got 2 screens. He's got 2 browsers open. He's got 2 headsets, and his multiple dialing on different screens. So whoever picks up, so his multi-dialing, like you have your power dialers, but then divided by 2. So he's just smashing out these calls, is booking in leads, and is closing deals. And everyone's like, but what? How's that fair? You know, what do you mean? How's it fair? He's hungry. He's going in and he's closing deals. So happy days.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and do you think we're still living off of even if it's less so than a few years ago, but living off the high of like, you can be a successful inbound only closer? Like, you still think that sentiment is permeated through the space, and that's why why do people struggle with like the whole, like, I'm gonna actually go out and hunt these deals down myself?
Yeah, I don't think every offer will last forever just relying on inbound.
Yeah.
Right. Whenever there's a sexy hot new thing, hey, AI automations, bam, let's just go inbound. But it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
What if the ads go down? What if the lead flow slows down? What are you doing to constantly just keep on generating leads? And I think that's the issue. There's so many new trends that happen all the time.
Right.
That there's only a certain amount of clients running these new trendy accounts. And there's only a small amount of closers that manage to land these jobs.
Right.
And they don't last forever. So that's why we see a huge churn, is closers just think, okay, I'm just going to jump onto the next best thing and next best thing. And sometimes they just like, oh, well, I've been fortunate enough to be on jobs for the last year and a half. Now I can't find a job. What's going on? Oh my God, I've got to do outbound now. Oh my God, how do I do outbound? I've never done it. So it is a mindset thing. And I think some of the best closers that I've met, I spoke to a lady today. Last year, she did $5 million in sales in 6 months on an offer. And what it was insane. And what she did is she had the company's own setter, but she also hired her own setter as well. And her own setter, guess what? Wasn't just relying on the go high level in the contacts in the CRM, also joined Facebook groups, joined other masterminds, and just did everything possible to go out and outbound.
Yeah.
So whatever offer she jumps on, she's like, can I bring my own setter as well? I'm like, yeah, but my own setter doesn't have to just rely on the CRM. They're going to do other things. I'm like, wow, teach this, Yeah. Don't just rely.
Yeah, for real. The last offer that I was on before I got more into recruiting, and it was that where I was actually selling, it was a lot of farming out of a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And something that I think a lot of people overlook is like, if you told me, Zach, you can do an end-to-end role, or you can do closing like inbound only. I've been doing the end-to-end, and not because I don't trust whoever is going to touch that lead before me, but I think there's a huge value add on the buyer side to deal with the same person along the way instead of changing hands. Now, obviously, the combo is very common. It can be done well. No issues. But for me personally, I think it honestly makes the sale a lot easier when you've had more time to develop a relationship with somebody, especially if everything's congruent with the orientation of the offer itself and the process. So I just like being able to stay top of mind with people and know exactly what they're getting, when they're getting it, what I'm saying, and they're not getting something from somebody else that I don't necessarily or I can't necessarily control. And honestly, if you just can let it take the time that it needs, the people, they'll just start buying. That's how it was in the offer. I didn't try to push anybody. I just kept educating with the marketing material I was getting. Hey, how's it going? 60-second bite-sized info. You can check this out. Talk to you soon. Just staying top of mind, reaching out. I had this cool Facebook thing. I would every 2 days would send out 300 messages to people that were in the pipeline I was chatting with, and it worked really well. Like, it was just, people were like, oh, I trust this guy. He's just giving me information. He's not saying, are you ready to buy yet? I'm not getting shuffled around by 5 different people. I like the process. So
no, that's crazy. When I was a closer working full time, I never took more than 6 hours of calls. And when I went from doing 12 hours down to 8 hours, down to 6 hours, I realized I was making more money taking 6 hours of booked calls than I did when I was doing 12 hours. Exactly what you just said. What I like to do is book them in 6 hours time slot, but then I'd have time to do follow-ups. I'd have time to do my pre-calls or my sets. And I felt like people enjoyed it and I had a much higher show rate than most people. Why? I feel like people didn't really want to jump on a call with someone and then jump on a call with someone else. And then like being pushed through to so many hands. They're like, well, who do I trust?
Right.
And then we have some offers as well that we now have got the setter to rather than book the call straight into the setter's calendar. If the closer's fully booked and they can't pre-call, they're just doing speed to lead just to pre-qualify. But the call is going straight into the closer's calendar now. And the show-up rate is higher, the close rate's higher. Because I think the trust these days is at an all-time low.
Facts.
All-time low. So even to the point where we get our closers to be like, hey, if you can manage to send a small little intro video to the client you're about to speak to via iMessenger or via WhatsApp, and you're breaking the ice already, they're getting to know you, it's so personal.
Yes.
So personal.
That's the key. Personalization in a world where, like, especially with AI now, it's like I fully believe that we have all at one point or another consumed a piece of AI content and didn't know it was AI, even video,
Oh, yeah.
and just had no idea. So
I'm AI. I'm not him.
yeah. Well, I think as we get into more of this, what's real, what's fake, and we are dealing with people through the web, and it's not physical where we can shake each other's hands, it's going to be even more important to add that personal touch, because people are going to be, I think, craving that more so, just with how disconnected things are becoming, and how much more AI is taking over even conversations, partial conversations, or even full conversations along a buying process. Like, everybody's trying to automate things to make life easier for themselves, but like at the end of the day, you can't beat that human to human interaction. We are people. We're wired to want to interact with another human being. Yes, AI is cool, but like, it's never going to be a person. And so you can take advantage of that by sort of zigging when other people are zagging. You can be like, not let that, not fall into that. Use the tools, obviously. Like, I use them all the time, but like, don't let somebody question whether or not you are actually here and present. And then again, like you said, add that personal touch.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you feel is the biggest issue most closers face when they do jump onto an offer?
What comes to mind is they need money too quick. I sort of mentioned this earlier. It's like, you have to understand that if you're selling, especially if you're selling a different type of offer, which I think can be a double-edged sword if you're not careful. Like, I'm a big believer in, because I just had an offer right now that they were like, we've hired closers that don't speak the lingo of what our clients are doing, and they just never work out. Like, we actually need somebody who's either sold it or has done it in the past. And got him a guy who's done it in the past, who understands the problems. He had tried to do a bunch of Shopify stores himself, and could relate to the client in that sense, to where he was an expert, if you will. And so I think that just the whole like sales tactic, just respond with a question, answer a question with a question, or just kind of loop people and not really give them the actual granular, real answer to the question that they have. People are starting to sniff that out. And it's like, nah, like when AI is the constant, like, people are going to want the expert. And if you're not an expert in a field as a closer, I think you're going to struggle. I think that's where we're going, because when everybody can use AI to get the job done, it's like, are you the guy that's using AI as a crutch, or are you using AI because you could do the job without AI because you are the expert, but you're just getting it done a lot faster? And it's like, I want to go with the guy who knows what the AI is doing and is not just parroting whatever the AI is saying. And the reason that matters is because if you're the closer and you have a team of experts, like the whole company knows what they're doing, the client success is on point, just the offer slaps, is really good, it does what it says it's going to do, and you're not an expert, they're going to sniff that out. And I think that that's only going to become more prevalent. So kind of, I guess, a two-edged sword. It's like, hey, you got to recognize, like, if there is a bigger learning curve on this offer, you're going to have to be able to not make money for a couple weeks, unless there's a base or something along the way. But at the same time, if you can stick to a certain type of offer, I think it's going to make you even more credible and valuable to a company, because you can add that congruency to the offer that you're selling.
No, I love that. Because what we see a lot as well is when we're going through interviewing the clients before the closers, something that we always look for is, first of all, yes, how is their fulfillment? Right? That rule number one is, if they can't fulfill, then see you later. One of the top 3 questions I ask is, how fast can you scale until everything breaks? What is that max cap that you can bring on? Because 99% of all businesses out there that fail is because we've placed incredible closers. They've grown so fast, and like, yo, we can't fulfill anymore. We've just lost track. Let's just shut everything down. Clients get bad results. Closers lose a load of cash, reputation. It's crazy. So that's one of the main things that we look for, is what's the max capacity they can scale at, right? That's one thing. The other thing that I look for, which is the second point, is what is their onboarding process like?
Yeah.
And I, like, as a recruiter, 100%, I hold my hands up. I fucked up for many years, not looking too much into the onboarding. I looked at everything else, and I didn't focus too much in the onboarding. Recently, we changed the way that we audit. And we've seen that if a business has an incredible onboarding process, closers stick around. Closers are happy. Closers make money. Closers understand what they're doing. And what I always say is like, hey, Mr. Business Owner, unfortunately, I can't work with you. Unfortunately, I'm not the person that will be able to help you find closers until you fix your onboarding process.
Right.
And the example I give is, imagine it's your first day on the job. You've walked into the office, super excited, ready to work. The receptionist has now opened the door, welcomed you into your new beautiful office. You've looked around and there's fucking paperwork everywhere. All over, like the windows open, there's papers flying around on the desk, and you're looking around, you're like, okay, so where do I start? You look at the receptionist and she turns around and she says, don't know, just pick up all the papers and just trying to find your way. And that's what closers feel. Closers feel like when they're jumping on offers and there's not the right onboarding process, they're like, yo, I'm lost. The business owner just gave me like 3 call recordings, a script, got my calendar set up, and put me on a calendar to sell. Yep. I don't care how good of a closer you are. It's very hard to stay in a business that's super unorganized.
100%.
You know? Yeah. And I think the third thing as well is not understanding data, not having the right tracking system. Because and I'm sure we both agree here, but what happens a lot is businesses focus so much on scaling. They've invested so much money into having mentors that teach them how to scale. The fundamentals are always missed, which is your sales system, not your scaling ability, your sales system, right? Closers, the onboarding, the training, the metrics. So that's something that we really look out for when we're onboarding clients.
100%. What's up, Andy? Good to see you. Blake, good to see you. Yeah, it is. It's like, I think the saying, go slow to go fast, as dumb as that might sound, I love that saying because it helps me stay grounded. And I would argue that I've probably tried to scale way less than I could have because it's just me right now and I'm a couple years in. And but admittedly, there is a part of me that sees all these offers. I'm like, they hire. And then, like you said, stuff breaks. And it's like, how did you like not see this coming? And you obviously you could be it like me and you just like kind of afraid to scale because you don't want it. So you could do it the opposite and not be healthy in that regard. But, having that balance obviously is important. But it seems like it's more, what's the word? More common to have offers break than scale correctly. Would you say that a lot of that is because they don't, like, what about client success, for example? Like I've talked to maybe 1 or 2 business owners in my times, not very many, but have mentioned that they really spent the time to make sure that fulfillment was stacked. And then when just everything operationally, and then when they bring the closers in, there's not that fall off, or there's like, okay, now there's too many clients and we can't fulfill, because that's going to ruin your reputation faster than anything. So are you seeing more companies start to focus on maybe like the client success side too? Because I have seen a lot of closers like way more recently asking for client success roles too, along those lines. So is there something there? Or?
I think that's one of the reasons why I asked you before is like, what percentage of closers do you think should be closers? I think the large 60% that you mentioned, not including the setters, that 60% of closers that you mentioned should be CSMs. Because most closers that don't make it, they don't know how to present themselves properly. They haven't had the right training. They have commission breath. They're on commission only. And when you're on commission only, you have a family, you want to have more of a stable life. You think you want a remote job, but in reality, you want more of a stable corporate life. Right. You're just trying to disguise it. Don't be a closer. Be a CSM. I see a big shift in the market where end of this year, so end of 2025, beginning of 2026 is going to be the year of the CSMs.
I agree.
Right? CSM's going to go insane. A lot of clients, because we never used to recruit CSMs. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what a CSM was.
Yeah, right.
And then people start talking about CSMs. I'm like, pardon my ignorance. What's a CSM?
Yeah.
But successful business owners, what they're realizing, especially after Alex Hormoz's launch, is it's easier to upsell a current client than getting a new client. So they're like, oh my God, we now have so many clients that we've sold to. Maybe we can start selling more things to them. They have our, the loyalty is there. They understand that we have success. What else can we do? So now all of a sudden I see a massive shift in the market where businesses are focused massively on reselling current clients, as well as bringing in new, but a huge impact with CSMs now coming in and just looking after current databases, clients, and then just upselling through the whole way. We had wasn't a client, it was back in the day. Their team's so big now that they have their own recruiter. So they do 1.7 mil, 400 of that comes from CSMs. They did 1.7 mil last month, 400 of that came from CSMs.
Yeah.
It's insane. So yeah, I think all businesses really need to focus on not just what they can sell up front, but how they can carry on upselling. I spoke to one of a good friend of mine. He's got 44 million followers over all social media. He's huge. He's huge. He's the Grant Cardone version in the Spanish market. And I was talking to him, and I was talking to his marketing director, and they said the biggest mistake that we did in business was we kept launching new products. And I'm like, but isn't that a good thing? It's like we kept launching new products to new audiences. We kept trying to capitalize, kept trying to make money from our following, from people that we'd never sold in the past. And it took years until we realized we've already sold to, I think he said something like 4,500 people, and we've never sold anything to them ever again. So over the last several months, they've now reactivated their old list, and they're buying faster than ever. No ads or reactivation campaigns, and they're making more money than ever.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Do you think that some of this shift has something to do with what you alluded to earlier, in that buyers are getting smarter? It's getting harder, I think, across the board, maybe even just a tick, but generally a little bit harder to get someone to separate from their money because of just how many options there are. A lot of saturation, a lot of distrust in the market, multifaceted. But some of the fly-by-night companies that were only in it for the cash, had zero back end, are starting to lose market share. And the ones that are doing it right are starting to gain market share, and therefore having to, like you said, having to focus a little bit more differently on what they're doing, because they actually do have a good operation. It might just need some kinks to be worked out, but like the good guys are starting to get bigger market share. And so therefore having to bring in more CSMs, like you said, in 2026, which I think is one of the drivers of what's going to make that more mainstream than it is now. But I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are on that.
I think we only have another 12 months to make personal brands as strong as can be, until you don't know if the personal brand is going to be an AI or not.
Right.
So I think for every business owner that has a following, or that's creating a following now, needs to push extremely hard on getting people to trust them, getting people to see who they are, not just professionally, but personally. Build up that trust factor. But also as well, the most successful offers that I've seen at the moment, they do a huge warm up where, hey, yes, you've seen the VSL. Yes, you've seen the thank you page. Now make sure you go and you do your homework. In fact, let me send you the homework that you need to do, and make sure that you go through the homework. If you don't go through the homework, we are going to cancel your call. I want you to treat the call like it is an interview, because you're interviewing us as much as we're interviewing you.
Facts.
Like having that frame, that's where the most successful offers and business owners are focusing on. The ones that are just trying to come up quick cash, just relying on cold cold emails or cold meta ads, they're the ones that are struggling the most at the moment.
Yeah.
There needs to be credibility.
100%.
Now, if it is a hot offer like AI automations, you've still got a bit of leverage because it's hot words, buzzwords at the moment.
Right.
But the other ones that are a bit more traditional, it has to come down to trust.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I'm glad you said that though, because I think a lot about sort of like what does a world online look like with AI being as big as it appears to not only be, but becoming. And I've heard it said multiple times that a personal brand, creativity, if you will, sort of that human, just like being yourself factor is gonna be more or less what people consider capital. Like that's gonna be what separates the men from the boys, because that's not something that AI can necessarily replicate, is true, authentic humanness. And I agree. I think by end of maybe next year or something, even what we're doing right now is going to look a lot different, because AI seems to be taking a lot of steps very, very quickly.
You know, my prediction is in 12 months' time, there's going to be a lot less users on social media. A lot less on Instagram, a lot less on TikTok, because we have no idea if that person is real or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to have the super geeks that fall in love with AI personalities, AI women. It's happening. It will happen. But real entrepreneurs that want real human interaction, I feel like the shift is going to be more people are going to be moving away from social media and do more in-person masterminds.
Yes, facts.
So I host 2 masterminds a month in Medellin. Did one last night, 40 founders. It was fire. It was absolutely incredible. I've been doing it every month. So the Founders Roundtable Mastermind, I've been doing every month for the last 17 months. So it's our 17th edition. And just getting better and better. But I'm going to share my secret here. I'm going to share why I do it and why it's so important and why everyone should host their own community mastermind in person. So, shit, why did I say I'm going to say it? I've got no filter. All right, I'm going to say it. I do it for selfish reasons. Okay, so I do a Founders Roundtable Mastermind once a month. And what I do, I have an application. Hey, it's going to be a free event, or $47 just for a commitment. That all goes to charity, right? Fill in the form. I'm only going to allow founders that are making between X amount or over X amount, has bottlenecks, is in a certain industry. So I'm asking them all the questions where I'm like, okay, I can filter out who could be a potential client. Everyone that I feel like wouldn't be a good fit, I just reject. So last night we had 40 founders that turned up, and the whole setup is this. It's 15 minutes of me standing on stage in front of 40 founders, giving some type of value, right? The value last night was talking about the importance of your Rolodex, of referrals, of connections, face to face. After that, we did breakout rooms. So it was 10 people maximum per table, 4 tables in different rooms. And there was 4 steps. You've got a minute to introduce you, your business, and your biggest bottleneck. 8 minutes where every founder on that table is asking you questions and then giving you advice on your bottleneck. 30-second takeaway where you're like, oh my God, I've had this bottleneck for like 6 months. And in 8 minutes, it's been done. And then the 4th step is ask for a referral or an ask, right? So imagine you now have 40 business owners that have now just connected, given advice, sharing their bottlenecks, receiving advice, asking for referrals. And it's the proper way to actually network.
Yeah.
Most people, they do networking events. They're like, hey, I'm going to host a networking event. They walk around. They're like, oh, I'm going to try and talk to people around the room. That person's boring. That person's breath smells. That person has no idea what they're talking about. And you waste so much time.
Yeah.
Where what we've created, and the reason why I've created it, yes, selfish reasons. 2, I just love connecting people. And 3, it's just networking with a purpose, like understanding who's there that you could potentially find a new mentor, a new business partner. It's just incredible. So the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like it doesn't matter who you are or where you are. I think everyone should start their own in-person communities and meetups, because you have no idea. You're only one contact away from your next million.
That's true. That's true. Well, when you spend the time on the front end to filter the right people out, then you get more of the same or more like-mindedness with the people that are there. So you don't get that super fractured, nobody's on the same page as me. What do you even do? Like, why are you even here type of thing? Like you said, everybody's there, but you've made it so that, hey, like there's a higher likelihood that you will get along with more people on average in this room of 40 people than you would in a room of 4,000 at this big random mastermind.
And the interesting thing as well is, let me try and say this in the best possible way. I've been doing this recruitment game for the last, 4 years? You're a bit more than that. Is it 5 years?
4.5.
4.5 years. Yeah. So we've seen a lot of names come and go, try and do recruitment. The guys that started several years ago are the same guys that are in it today. People have come, they've gone, because it's not as easy as people think.
Yeah. And
what I mentioned before is, how do you vet the businesses? How do you vet the right closers? That is, it's if you don't have passion for recruitment, it's probably one of the hardest things to do after probably working in hospitality.
Yeah.
Right? But I stress to closers, it's like, hey, I messed up in my career by shiny object syndrome, trying to do too much. The best advice I can give anyone is, hey, I make just over 60% of my income by referring people. So rather than you, Mr. Closer, referring a closer to a business owner that may not work out, ruin your reputation, you haven't done the right vetting, why don't you introduce them to a recruiter such as myself, such as Zach, where we can do the pre-vetting. We can make sure that they are ready for the interviews. So when they land the interview, right, everyone's winning. Plus, we can look after you.
Right.
Mr. Referrer, you know?
Right.
So that's something I want to stress to all closers is, yeah, you can help out the business owner, but it doesn't always look good if they don't work out.
Right. Right.
So
100%.
the other addition to that as well is, then you think, okay, well, how many people do I speak to on a daily basis that need something that I don't have? My whole thing is, how can I have a 90% close rate? I don't believe in 100% close rate. How can I have a 90% close rate on everything that I do? I'm thinking, okay, every conversation I have, I'm talking to someone who has a problem, and that problem needs to be fixed. I don't always have the solution,
right?
But I know people that do. And I think that's why we should all come together a lot more and have a tighter referral web where people are like, hey, I'm not the expert. Let me introduce you to the expert. I can't help you. Go get fixed. When you are fixed, then you're ready to bring on a closer, come back to me, right? Yeah. So I've made money on the side and I haven't lost the client. They've just gone ahead. They've got their leads back together or a new CRM. Now they're ready for closer. They come back.
Right.
So that's what I think every closer or sales rep should have is like, hey, how can I have a 90% close rate by selling something that I don't have, by connecting with people that do.
Right. And then the expert who's getting the referral, take care of the people who are referring people to you. Instead, just incentivize them like any professional would to want to continue to do more of the same.
And I think that will slowly, I'll never say fix 100% the industry because I don't see that ever happening.
Yeah.
But it will slowly prevent bad reputations.
Right.
And let the experts do their job.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have a lot of goodwill with that person, even though you didn't help them. They're gonna be your biggest fan. They're gonna be like, this guy didn't try to pretend like he was the right fit for me just to get my money. He actually sent me the right direction, and that builds a lot of trust right there.
And then you get referrals.
Yeah,
from that client.
Yeah, I even know reps that they have on different offers that they've sold, they've built those sort of relationships with their clients, and they know like people because different things you like to do, add to the portfolio, investments, whatever it is, but they sort of bring those relationships along with them, even as a quote unquote closer. So it can be done at any level.
100%. 100%.
All right. Any final words of wisdom for the class before I let you get out of here?
Yes. The biggest value nugget I want to provide, and we all hear about it, we all know that we should do it, but not everyone does, is asking for referrals. Right? And it's sales, isn't it? It's not what we say, it's how we say it.
Yeah.
So we have so each client that we've worked with, on average now, we have 1.7 clients per client, which means every client we speak to, guys, whether you're you have your own business and you listen to this, whether you're a closer and you listen to this, do it on your sales calls. At the end of every call, turn around and say, this is what I say to business owners because they know that I'm in the sales game. I say, hey, Mr. Business Owner, before you go, I'd be a really shit closer if I didn't ask you this next question.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, go on then. What is it? I say, who do you know that also needs closers right now? And they're like, oh, actually, I know 2 people. Do you mind do a quick WhatsApp intro and introduce, and I'll take it from there? Done. Bam. I don't say, do you know someone that could possibly be looking for closers? Do you know someone that maybe be interested in looking for something simple? No. Who do you know? Because the unconscious mind goes straight into who they know. And it's crazy because you just start seeing them go, actually, there's 2 people. Bam. Do you mind doing a quick WhatsApp intro and introducing us? And I'll take it from there. Done. Bam. Easy. Do that on your sales calls, right? Don't have this mentality of, oh yeah, but a lot of the clients are going to turn around and say, I need to wait for results and then I refer people. They're hot, right? It's a numbers game there. So if people are so bought in and you ask that question, what if you ask 10 people and 4 people refer and 2 people buy? That's 2 extra commissions you weren't even going to have.
Right.
So
not to mention referrals are some of the easiest people to get on board. Like you can't get much hotter of a lead than that.
True that.
Love
True. But also with closers, don't treat referrals as an easy deal. Still go through the process.
100%.
Still treat them exactly the same. Still build the emotional gap if you're selling B2C. Just make sure that you are treating it like a normal call, not as, hey, it's a referral they're going to buy, because that's when you lose deals.
Yeah, 100%.
Shall.
Awesome. Joel,
thanks so much.
Likewise, man. It's always a good time chatting with Joel. So appreciate your time. Thanks everybody in the comments. We will see you guys next time. Adios.
Let's go. Ciao for now.